Good morning, children. In the last class, in the last video, we have discussed chapter 1, that was categories of computers and computer languages. In that video, I have told you what are the different categories, how these categories are made, what are the features of different categories of computer. So, based on that, uh, you understood that there are so many different categories from portable to bigger one. And these categories was categorized in order to make our work more easier and more comfort. So when we talk about computer, we provide instruction. Based on that instruction, computer does the work. But do you think how the computer understand our instruction? They don't have ear to understand or hear. Okay, they are simply a machine. So in order to make computer understand, we need to communicate with computer, talk with computer, but not verbally, not with written also. We have to talk by the languages which computer understand. And computer understand only a machine language. You know what is machine language? Language which consists of 0 and 1. Binary numbers. But these languages are very tough to understand. Okay, so in order to solve the problem, the languages are categorized in two different parts. You can see here language of computer. Okay, language of computer are categorized in two different parts: low level and high level. There are two categorization of language: low level language and high level language. Let me tell you, low level language are the languages which are directly understood by the machine. Means machine understandable language. This you can say it is a machine understandable or machine language. You can say simply a machine language. And this you can say a human language. Okay, so language are categorized in two parts: low level language and high level language. Low level language I have given the name as machine language, and high level language the name as human language. So this low level language is again categorized in two different parts. One is directly a machine language and another is assembly language. So let me tell you something about low level language and high level language. Low level language are directly understandable by machine. That means conversions are not required, but very tough to understand, because if we say anything in the form of 0 and 1, we'll be unable to understand what they are telling or what they are like they want to speak out. So 0 and 1 language is very tough for us. So to solve that, means machine is 0 and 1 language. So to solve this, there are some symbolic, some abbreviated words. Okay, but that symbolic or abbreviated words need a translator to translate from assembly language to machine language. Okay, they need a translator, but this machine language, they doesn't need any translator because they are directly understandable by machine, 0 and 1. Whereas this assembly language, they are a set of symbolic codes, abbreviated words. So these symbolic or abbreviated words need to be convert or translate. So to translate that, they require is known as assembler. This assembler is what? It is a translator. You can see it is a translator. So translator of assembly language is known as assembler. Their work to convert the language written in assembly language into a language which machine understand. That is machine understandable language. So this was about low level language. So first language you can say was machine language, directly understood by computer or any machine, that is 0 and 1. Okay, in fact, forget about computer. if you talk about any electronic gadget, say televisions, fan, bulb, okay, they also understand the language of 0 and 1. So when you on anything, on a switch, that becomes 1, and when you off, that becomes 0. 1 represent on and 0 represent off. So every machine, they understand the language of on and off. So when we on the fan, fan start rotating. That means we are communicating with fan. When we off the switch, fan stops. That means again we are communicating, we are providing the instruction. In the same way, to machine also, means to computer also, we have to communicate with the help of 0 and 1. Only this language understand computer. Rest language like assembly language is there, which is also part of low level only, that means machine understandable language, but still this language they use some symbolic code, some abbreviated words. That's why a converter, a translator is required, and the translator for assembly language is known as assembler. Is this clear, children? So apart from this low level, we have another type of language known as high level, and here I have written say human language. High level is a human language. Now that doesn't mean you write the program in Hindi or maybe Nepali or Bengali. No. Human language means normal or very simple English words are used. So right now, the programmers, those who write the program or those who write the instructions, they knows English. In fact, everyone knows English, those who are educated, isn't it? So when we know English, we have to remember some syntax, some grammar, and that syntax or that grammar will be the part of high level language, and with that grammar or that syntax we can create a program, we can write the instruction, we can communicate with computer, and such type of language are known as high level language, human understandable language. Now what are the example of this? There are so many examples. We have like COBOL, Fortran, okay, Pascal, C, C++, Java, and many more are there. So in fact, the newest, or you can say the latest programming language is Java, and this language is also written by human language. That means high level language, part of high level language. Now you might be wondering how the English language is understood by computer. Magic is there? No. Machine understand only language of 0 and 1, and we understand a human language, that is English. So how the English or human language or human understandable language or high level language, how the program or instruction written in this language will be converted to machine language? They need a translator again, and such translator which translate high level language into a machine language. Okay, such translator are known as compiler or interpreter. They are known as what? Compiler or interpreter. So I'm just writing here is a translator, compiler, even one more we have is known as interpreter. So there are two different types of translator which we can use to convert the instruction, the program or the applications written in high level into a machine language, or you can say low level language. So this translator or compiler, they are inbuilt a set of application, they are the platform which allow us way to write the programs. So when we write the program over there, that particular programs are converted to machine languages and computer understand. And once the computer understand, then only the execution process begins. So my dear children, so this is the first generation. Machine language is first generation of computer. This is second generation. This high levels. From here it begins a third generation language. But right now, the present scenario, we belongs to fourth generation language, 4GL. Fourth generation language are the language in which we doesn't need a language means front end, but also we need a language which is back end, back of the applications. That means the storage capacity is also required. And when we provide the storage with front end, so such type of language are known as 4GL or fourth generation language. Okay, so children, 4GL, what to understand from here? Fourth generation language. So fourth generation language are the language which not only required a front end but also required a back end, means a storage capacity is required. So when the high level language combined with storage capacity, means a back end part is there, so such type of language fall in fourth generation language. In fact, in future we may get a fifth generation. Even some of the developed country, they have already started. So fifth generation computer or fifth generation language, they understand the verbal communications. We don't have to provide the instruction in the written form. We can directly communicate with the machine. We can talk with the machine. You might be wondering what I am saying, isn't it? No, it can be possible. See, robots, they are the application of fifth generation language. They understand our instructions. We don't have to provide the instruction always in the written forms. Yeah, obviously, when they are first initialized, we have to provide in the written forms. But the written form application is in such a way that convert the text to speech. We can communicate in a language which we understand. That sort of language are known as fifth generation language, and in fact they are the part of artificial intelligence. So that's a future one. In future we'll get. In fact, research are going on. So many robots have been developed also. Okay, but the advanced computer till now is under progress only. Scientists, they are doing the research on this. Okay, so my dear children, so today what we understand is the language of computer. So language of computer are categorized in two parts: high level language and low level language. Low level language, machine understandable language. High level, human understandable language. Low level language, again two part: machine language, that means directly understandable, and one is indirectly understandable, that is assembly language. For indirect, what we need? Translator, conversion. Okay, so this is the part of low level language. Now let us come to high level language, human understandable language. So many examples are there. The latest one, or you can say newest one, is Java. Okay, where we use a normal English, the very simple English, whatever we know or we learn, but grammar is there that we need to follow. So when we follow that grammar and use the English words, we provide the instruction to computer. So that is a high level language. So high level language is the part of third generations. But right now we are in fourth generation language, where we have high level language along with storage. So high level language along with storage becomes 4GL, fourth generation language. And in future we'll get fifth generation language, where artificial intelligence will be there. So is this clear? Now see, based on this topic, based on the language of computer, I want to provide you some questions. You can say a homework. But again, remember one thing: homework you have to do in your copy, and the copy I will check only when school get reopens. Is this clear, children? So now your homework begins. Stop for listening. So children, your homework is the exercise of this chapter. You have to do all the work in your copy, and listen one thing: question answer is also given, but for the rest, like multiple choice, fill in the blanks, you have to do by your own. So see your first exercise. It's about multiple choice question. You have three options. You have to tick the correct one. Like question 1, mainframe computers were first developed by a company named Google, IBM, Infosys. Which one is the correct? You have to take that. Number 2, Dash translates a program in a step-by-step process. Compiler, interpreter, or assembler. So out of the 3 options, you have to tick the correct one. So this is about multiple choice question. So second exercise is about fill in the blanks. You have a dash. You have to fill the dash with appropriate words. Like question 1, languages are classified into 2 types. What are the types of languages? Dash and dash. Number 2, dash languages use mnemonics. Mnemonics means symbol or symbolic. So which language use these things? Mnemonic codes or symbolic codes. Number 3, a code written in high level language is known as dash. And number 4, dash is an example of high level language. There are so many languages, so many applications, so many softwares, programming language. You have to write any one, the latest one. I have already discussed these things in videos. Number 5, personal computers is also known as PCS. P means personal, C means computer, and S is computers, are also called dash. What sort of computer? Mini computer, microcomputer, mainframe computer, what it is called? You have to write that. And see the last exercise, that is answer the following. You'll find there are different questions. I think around 5 questions are there with answers. You have to write down this in your copy. Maintain neat and clean so that when school gets reopens, I will check and I will rectify. In my last video also I gave one homework that should be also there in this copy, same copy. So there are 3 questions and here 2 more. So total 5 question and answers are there. So everyone will complete this in your copy. Is this clear, children?